It's the last Friday in Black History Month, but I'm sure this isn't the last blaxploitation movie we'll look at this year. After all, these are some of the best and most original movies to come out of the 70s, and they're movies that I tend to watch repeatedly. Yes, I have too much time on my hands. This week, though, let's look at Blacula's Last Stand. Yes, it's the 1973 vampire classic, Scream, Blacula, Scream. This time, our vampiric hero, Mamuwalde, has been resurrected by a voodoo priest, Willis, who wants to run the voodoo mafia, I guess. Well, the rest of the voodooians want Pam Grier to be their leader. But Willis doesn't like it too much, so he brings Blacula back to help him consolidate power. Now, how he was going to do that is never really explained, but let's face it, if Blacula can't get it done, it just can't get done. But Blacula has plans of his own, and those are to get Pam to use her voodoo powers to cleanse him of his vampire curse. All this is thrown into a cocked hat by the police investigating the inevitable murders with the strange marks on the neck and the bodies drained of blood. And the whole mess leads to an all-out attack on Blacula's house while the voodoo ritual is taking place. And it's working, but the cops break things up and Blacula is forced to run, taking Pam as a hostage. But you know Pam Grier, she's a strong woman and a tough chick and doesn't really want to be a vampire's hostage. So using a voodoo doll of Blacula, she stakes him through the heart, and our anti-hero is once again left dead. Now, while this is not nearly as good as the original Blacula, Scream, Blacula, Scream is still light years ahead of some of the other blaxploitation movies of the day. I'm looking at you, Blackenstein. William Marshall still carries himself with the dignity that you'd imagine an African prince would. And add Pam Grier into the mix, and you've got yourself two actors who are good enough to carry this fairly thin plot. And the plot is very thin. It takes forever to get to the voodoo plotline, and there's your standard sub-story of the police looking for a killer who only one man believes to be a vampire. And when they're finally convinced, it isn't until they're all armed with wooden stakes and raiding the vampire's den. I'm giving Scream, Blacula, Scream 3.5 out of 4 cigars, because despite all of its shortcomings, it's still a fairly entertaining movie. Marshall and Grier alone will keep you interested, but everybody in the cast is very good. So until next time, when I'll be here trying to convince the cops that my neighbor is a vampire and we need to put a stake through his heart, remember, you can always find an unusual movie to watch here at badmovieguy.com or a great indie movie over at roguecinema.com. And also remember that the best movies are bad movies.